Published 0326 Est, the 25th of November 2017. Updated 0331 Est, the 25th of November 2017. The most incredible thing happened in the 67th over at the Gabba on Friday morning. Steve Smith played and missed. No, really, he did. James Anderson was the bowler. He got one to do a bit and beat Smith's bat. If he ever does it again, there will probably be a DVD. Statisticians evaluate this stuff these days. They have a term for it, like unforced errors in tennis, calculating each time a batsman misses or gets an edge. False shots, they call them. Smith averages a false shot every 8 balls in 100, making him the most difficult opponent for a bowler in Test cricket. Very good batsmen measure around 14 errors per 100 balls, but Smith is more than just a very good batsman. Right now, he is the best. Steve Smith produced a magnificent innings, scoring 141 runs as the Australia captain helped his country gain the initiative. Smith was pumped up as he wrestled back the initiative from England with a captain's performance for Australia at the Gabba. Barmy Army have appropriated a Beatles song to chirp at him. They sing it to the tune of "With a Little Help from My Friends." Except Smith didn't have a whole heap of help from many of his friends in Brisbane at all. Shaun Marsh hung around for close to 3 hours across days 2 and 3, but fell early in Saturday morning's session, with a pair a run short of their 99 partnership. Pat Cummins did an outstanding job keeping Smith company for an 8th wicket stand of 66, the bowler accounting for 42 of them. Yet, take Smith away, and Australia would be losing this test by a margin. Largely, he advanced Australia alone, the standout batsman amid much mediocrity. David Warner, Australia's other gunbat, threw his wicket away on Friday, but Smith stayed strong and long, fidgeting his way towards an unbeaten 141, the first century of the series, and 22.3% of the runs scored by both teams through the first innings. Quite simply, Smith turned the game. England crumbled before close on day 3 because they were under pressure, and they were under pressure because Smith somehow steered Australia to a 26-run first innings lead, despite only 2 other Australian batsmen scoring more than 30. Smith in his comfort zone is the most dispiriting sight for a bowling attack. When he is on form, no team can claim to have the advantage in a test match until they have seen his backside retreating for good towards the pavilion, and England were not greatly close to achieving that at any stage of Australia's innings. Indeed, England did not get Smith, he just ran out of partners. There were moments, of course, but precious few. Smith got a little lucky fending off a short one from Jake Ball, which fell just out of reach of eager hands, but these slips were rare. Jeff Boycott, who knows a thing or two about hanging around annoying the hell out of everybody, said Smith reminded him of Rahul Dravid, the Indian batsman, famously known as the Wall. Once Dravid was in, dynamite couldn't get to him out, and Smith gives off a similar aura. Smith's innings proved the difference between the two sides as he scored the slowest Test century of his career off 261 balls. Stuart Broad reacts as Steve Smith brings up his century during the 3rd day of the opening Ashes Test in Brisbane. Australia were reeling at 764 and later 2097, but Smith's endurance kept the game delicately balanced as it has been since the very first session, until late in the day when Australia without doubt had the upper hand. Given his unconventional style, Smith must surely possess the finest hand-eye coordination of any batsman in the world, and the moment he gets set, the complexion of any match changes. This was his 21st Test century, and 19 of them have been scored in the first innings. He is the man who sets Australia up to win. He truly is a remarkable athlete. Indeed, were Smith a middle-distance runner, there would be all sorts of rumours such as his level of improvement. Steve Smith laps up the acclaim of a packed Gabba crowd at the end of Australia's first innings after his unbeaten 141. Smith plays a shot during a terrific captain's innings under pressure at the Gabba, with England's bowlers struggling to cop. In 2010, he came into the Australian team as a leg spinner who batted at number 8. Within 5 years he was acknowledged as the finest Test batsman in the world, and 2 years on, he merits comparisons to Sir Donald Bradman. Given his age, 28, and with 21 Test centuries to his name already, Smith still has time to overtake Bradman's mark of 29. He is averaging over 60 in Test cricket, which the great Bill Lawry described as Bradman-like given modern conditions. Certainly this knock has demonstrated peerless command, perfectly judged, offering no encouragement to England, and restoring Australian supremacy when the Test could easily have got away from them. Australia's record at the Gabba is the stuff of legend. No losses since 1988, but equally with dominance comes expectation. Draws here hurt Australia's psyche, and of the 8 Brisbane tests that have not been won in 29 years, Australia have then failed to take the series on 6 occasions. Smith watches one of his shots roll down to the boundary as he ensured the pendulum in the test swung his team's way. It was a courageous innings by Smith, too, as he ducked and dodged plenty of short stuff by England's seam as the Australian supporters at the Gabba rise to acclaim Smith as he brings up his century and acknowledges them with his bat. Australia view any form of reverse at the Gabba badly, so when Smith arrived at 302, there was an unfamiliar air of trepidation in the arena. Joe Root, England's captain, and his bowlers were getting everything right. By the time Smith had finished with England, that confidence had gone. Despite some very funky morning field placings, 6 on the leg side, no one between point and mid, and at one stage, little worked against him. This was Smith's slowest century, but conditions are difficult, and his measly 8 runs in the first hour of Saturday morning now compare very favourably with the wild stroke that saw Alistair Cook dismissed cheaply at the start of the second innings when England needed him so. Smith's control made the difference. He played a brilliant, intelligent innings and delivered a masterclass of match management. Root schemed to make him unsettled, but, the fidgeting aside, Australia's captain remained the embodiment of cool. Unflappable, untrappable. This was one of the great Ashes centuries and, quite probably, the game-changer. England have no one quite like him right now, but then, who does?